talking about your problems helps a lot, especially on your platform. No joke. I'm struggling you're going through, so I know the pain of trying to take care of yourself, and honestly it makes me feel better that someone knows what I'm going through.
I know I've said this exact line. Thank you so much, Coco. I know I've said this line before, but it's like, you feel good that someone else is dealing with the same thing, and then you kind of feel guilty because it's like, wow, I'm kind of happy this person is suffering. But I'm not happy that you are suffering. I'm happy that you are suffering with the same thing that I am. It's like a kinship, you know what I mean? You gave up on therapy 4 years ago after many years of cognitive behavioral therapy. I went to someone on Monday who believes my issues were neurological damage and not mood-based. Just taking the step to talk to someone can change everything. Absolutely, bees. And that's an important thing too, is that like sometimes your I don't know, sometimes your issue, I guess you would call it, is psychological. Sometimes it's logical and sometimes it's illogical. Like people with tics, where they have to do certain things or certain rituals. Where the fuck is she? I'm doing fucking cartwheels. What? She's behind me. How did I not see her? Am I fucking blind? People with obsessive compulsive disorder, I've read that a lot of times it's based off of an illogical fear. Like, if I don't keep doing this, or if I don't keep touching this spot, or, you know, doing this action, my mom will die. And, like, it doesn't matter if they realize that it's illogical or not. Your brain is stuck in that mode. And it's like, that's where people want to be like, just, what are you, dumb? Like, oh, get over it. Or you just have to willpower it away. And it's like, you can't. Maybe you can. There's always, let me put an asterisk on that. You can't. You usually can't. Like, this is atypical. It's so much harder than that.
Remember to donate bits with the custom charity emote, and Twitch sends 20% to direct relief. Hashtag charity.
That's what that, I keep seeing this, it's like 18,000, I'm like, what the, well, that's a big number, what's happening? That's how much is sent to charity. Sweet! That's really nice of them to do that. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Sometimes your stuff is logical, and maybe that helps. I don't really know, to be honest. Like, with me in particular, I'm a mystery. I don't know. They
Time to shit, Bard Crab Gang Snip hashtag charity.
There's Skelly with the comic relief. Thank you, Skelly. I appreciate that, buddy. Originally they thought that mine was a chemical imbalance, which sucks, but you just have to treat it with meds and deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not much you could do about it, you know what I mean? But I recently got a psych evaluation, because I'm open about this too, but I can't really work in a normal workplace. It's been difficult for me. So I'm applying for at least like a limited disability to help me. So I had to do a full psych eval, and that was weird. And like, it gave me a different outlook on things, because like, you realize how wide these issues can be, and when you take that eval, no! Fuck! They ask you things that I was like, holy fuck, this stuff seems like so strange or obvious or whatever, and it's like, oh my god, I'm briefly experiencing that same feeling that a normal person would feel, looking at someone who had a mental illness or a problem. But I'm someone with an illness looking at someone else with a different illness and thinking, holy fuck, I don't understand that. And it's like, there's that feeling all over again, like, holy shit, like... It's, whoa! Like, wow!
Okay, Mary, are you happy now? Cheeky smiley face less than 3 hashtag charity.
Like, one of the first things she asked me, like, so she kind of, like, went like this. She's like, okay, I have to, like, I know I'm your therapist, and I know that we have, like, a rapport with each other, but I have to go, like, super serious mode when I do this, like, to make sure that it's, accurate. And I was like, okay. So she's like, I'm basically gonna, like, throw my hand over my face, and when it's done, I'm gonna be super professional for the duration of this test. And I'm like, okay, I got it. So literally, she went like this, and she's like, okay, here we go. And she's like, where are we? And I'm like,
Score 1-0.
what the fuck? And I'm like, we're in the therapist room. She's like, yep. What town are we in? And I'm like, holy fuck, like, she actually has to test and make sure you're oriented, because there are people that literally are so stuck in a psychosis that they don't always know where they are. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, like, I didn't even, you don't even think of this. Like,
What's an aimbot?
you don't even think of this kind of stuff. Like, holy crap. And it's like, wow, like, it is so much further reaching than you could possibly imagine. If you don't mind me asking, how does partial disability work? Because I know I could apply for it, but it requires taking for Social Security, and I don't do that. So from my understanding, and I won't promise to be an expert on it, it takes the 10 most recent or highest paying quarters. I think it was recent quarters. Like, if you've ever worked, they base it off of that. Now, if you haven't worked, I just don't know. I could barely get through it. I could barely get through it myself. And they ask you for a certain amount of things. So, like, for me, they were like, okay, we need a psych eval, which your therapist might be able to give for you, and if you don't have a therapist or she doesn't do it, we'll provide you one. Oh, like, let me preface this by saying they are the nicest fucking people I've ever met. Like, they get it.
Thank you.
They get that they don't get it. Let me put it that way. They get that they don't get it, but they work as professionally as they can within those confines. In other words, my educator, she has no idea what mental illness is like, because she's not mentally ill, and she doesn't have any issues that I know of, mind you. But she's respectful and never once did I... You know what I'm talking about? Like, you talk to people, and sometimes they're very nice, but you get this air that dealing with you is a pain or an inconvenience. You feel it. And sometimes it's in your mind, but a lot of times it's like that unspoken body language that you just, your body picks up on. I've never gotten that with anyone that I've worked with through this process. Not yet. Maybe I'm lucky. So that's what I mean when I say they are professional at working within the confine of knowing that they're dealing with people they don't fully understand. So, like, there's definitely a sincerity there. That's probably the best way I can put it. There is a sincerity there in dealing with it. That's refreshing. Because it's not like you know you'll get special treatment. It's just that you know that you'll be treated at least somewhat fairly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just, You get it. Yeah, like they're being nice for the sake of being nice for the job. Exactly, Coco. Yeah, it's... And I mean... It's not always the... Like, it's not always the end of the world when you feel that from someone. You got to understand, maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe it's not dealing with you personally that's causing them to stress. Maybe it's literally like dealing with anything is causing them to stress like that. So I'm not trying to say that if you get that feeling it's bad. It's just it's refreshing to not have felt it so many times when I'm talking to these people. Is it money that's all from Social Security? Is it a whole different thing? I honestly couldn't tell you, buddy. I think it is in my case because they call it SSD, Social Security Disorder. SSD, SSDI, Social Security Disorder Income. Fuck. You know what? I have to call them tomorrow. I'm gonna try to read into it a little bit so I get more educated on it. Because to be honest, just calling them and talking to them, even though they're really nice, has literally drained me every single time I've done it. Because you're worried, you know what I mean? You inspired me to get up and make dinner? Oh, yes. I'm glad I'm having a positive effect, you know? Also, need I remind everyone, and I haven't seen Pixis yet to say it, but Flow State, I have literally been autopiloting this game and we are annihilating. Of course, now that I'm cognizant of it, we're all gonna die. Oh god. Yes, kill yourself! In the game. I have to make sure that's not exactly what I wanted to say at that moment when we're talking about that, but she blew herself up on me. Yes! Oh my god. You have to have some dark humor about it at some point, because it's like, this shit is too much to deal with for any one person. So I've gone through an entire other game talking about this, so I promise I'm gonna bring it to a close soon. So TLDR, it's tough. It's hard to deal with. We are here for you. This community is here for you. And if you're a member of this community and you don't deal with this or you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, and you're like, Tato, when are you gonna shut the fuck up? Just know that it's something that's important to me. And even if you don't understand it, please at least just respect me talking about it. And I'm sorry that you may not be able to get a word in edgewise because I'm in this mode, but I promise it's not always like this.